So I just hope we don't have the echo now. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Yes, we are.
We're okay now?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Sorry for that, guys. Sorry for that. Allow me to just go straight into the media that I needed to present, and then we can go to Lucy. So I was briefing you on Conversations with Esther. Conversations with Esther is an impact-driven media platform that informs, educates, rebuilds mindsets to ignite ethical practices within organizations and the community. Conversations with Esther provides a professional safe space speaking to matters affecting the workplace, relationships, productivity, and mental wellness in the workplace. Now, we are guided by 3 values: integrity, excellence, and impact. Conversations with Esther envisions a world transformed by candid conversations like what we have today with Lucy, respectable relationships, and the goodwill to make every effort count. So feel free to get in touch with us on our YouTube, Conversations with Esther Katiba, and Esther Katiba on LinkedIn, Conversations with Esther on Instagram. Now, allow me to just alert you on events that are upcoming. We are very keen on the mental wellness of employees or of individuals. So we have sessions that we take, that is Zumba. We have our Zumba class coming in on 9th of September, just a week, should be a week or so from now, at the Nairobi Children's Park, Nyerere Road. That's only for 2,000 shillings. And we say time and health are 2 precious assets that we don't recognize and appreciate until they have been depleted. I'm aware Patrick is on the call, Patrick of Chiromo, so he can confirm that. So make sure you join us on this for the Zumba, and let's keep fit. Now, on October 7th, 2023, we have an event that you must have seen possibly on social media, Coping with Loss and Grief. Now, this could be the loss of a loved one, the loss of your job, in partnership, of course, with Chiromo and with the National Youth Caucus, and Lucy is in the house, definitely. Now, it could be the loss of your job, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a relationship, the loss of your health somehow, or maybe you are taking in feedback from a doctor, the loss of many things. We grieve many things. Patrick would confirm this. So on this date, we are giving you an opportunity to come and speak to psychologists for free. Come and have a conversation with a psychologist on things that maybe are robbing you of your peace. And still in the same event, you'll be able to speak to organizations that possibly would offer you jobs and recruitment firms. We will have banks, we'll have insurance companies as partners. So we are still inviting organizations to come on board as partners. And I will read what is on the side. There is sacredness in tears. They are not a mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love. So let's learn to open up. I keep saying, let us normalize conversations around mental wellness. And of late, I have been an ambassador of mental wellness, and I keep saying, no job, no amount of money, no title is worth your mental health. Number 2, mental wellness and mental health conversations are no longer a nice to have. They are a must have in the workplace. So that's exactly what we do and who we are and where we are heading. So karibu sana as we hold those conversations. Right now we get into speaking with Lucy. Allow me to introduce Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Unmute.
Hi, Esther.
I know the world is waiting to hear from you. I see, allow me to admit, I see quite a number in the room waiting. Yeah. So I want to introduce Lucy. Lucy is a public policy and youth specialist, entrepreneur, speaker, SDGs advocate and champion. Lucy Mutuku is an award-winning youth advocate at the regional and national levels. She's the founder and CEO of the National Youth Caucus Kenya, which is our partner in the event, the Coping with Loss and Grief, which is a premier youth-led organization in Kenya and gradually expanding to other countries across the globe. She has extensive knowledge and experience in public policy, international development, governance, and human rights, which is an experience she learned from being an advocate for good governance and leadership in Kenya through public service governance. She is a 2021 recipient of the Female Youth Leader of the Year Awards by Peace League Africa, and hence also championing for peace in Kenya. At 23, she is also an awardee of selfless dedication to humanity by public service governance in 2020. She is a student of the Bachelor's in Civil Engineering and in Bachelor's in Procurement and Logistics. She'll tell us how she's doing those two together. She's also a holder of a diploma in international relations and diplomacy. She is dedicated to help the African youth and in transforming the world through entrepreneurship, and by supporting the young entrepreneurs acquire the knowledge and linking them with mentors through the YES Youth Entrepreneurship Summit. In her slogan of being empowered to empower, she believes that together we can make the world great. She is an award-winning youth in the 2022 10th Gender Mainstreaming Awards globally. Above that, Lucy is a very good friend of mine and a person that I believe in. She is an asset to the youth and to this country. Karibu sana, Lucy. The floor is yours. We will allow her to speak to us for the next almost 35 minutes. We are all yours, Lucy. Karibu, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you so much for the participants. And I'm sure we're going to interact a lot and learn a lot from this meeting. And also urge the participants to share the feedback in the chat box, as well as ask questions there. So as you've heard, my name is Lucy Mutuku, and I'm glad to be your guest for the day. And wow, I'll talk about, wow, you see, I believe I'm talking to the young people here. You know, I'm so passionate when it comes to addressing issues to do with young people. I always say, if you cut my DNA, they say we only have 4 blood cells, but apparently we'll find the 5th one, which is driving the change amongst the young people. So that tells you that I'm passionate about youth in leadership, youth entrepreneurship, or anything that is related to youth leadership. So I'll talk about how to, of course, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I believe that I'm in a position whereby we can inspire and learn from 1, 2, 3 people. Yes, so I'll address on how to position ourselves as young people to attract the right opportunities. And before that, let me say that I represent National Youth Caucus Kenya. National Youth Caucus Kenya is a youth-led organization here in Kenya, where we advocate for economic empowerment of the youth by embracing entrepreneurship as a solution to youth unemployment. We understand that that with the high rate of unemployment here in Kenya and across Africa, then there is a need for us as the youth to start thinking now without the box this time round. It's not outside the box, but without the box, and figure out what are the alternative ways we can adopt as young people just to see that we bring the change that we've always desired. So our main thematic area, it's on economic empowerment. Of course, we have other areas that we also focus on. And our main programs are actually three. The first one being the YES, that is the Youth Entrepreneurship Summit, whereby we equip. It's actually a program whereby we bring entrepreneurs together, whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or an existing entrepreneur. We have different sessions. The first session is usually on addressing the challenges that we face as young people in the entrepreneurship space. We understand that different entrepreneurs from different regions face different problems which require different approaches when trying to provide solutions to them. So we cannot leave Nairobi, for instance, and go to the northern region and dictate you on what works for us. No, we just want to hear from the perspective of the young people, what are the real challenges that we are facing here? So that at the end of it all, we always say that it's about impact over scale. So that, and that way, I believe, and for the youth-led organizations that are also represented here, one thing that we always say in the National Youth Caucus, and I'm happy because I can see Isaac Chibole on board, I can see Dominic Mbidi on board. Thank you so much for joining, and maybe they will be helping me bit by bit. So it's something that we always say that we have to be practical, and we also have to be sustainable on how we do our programs. We also have to be intentional about the impact. Yes, we could be able to bring like 3,000 members to attend our summits, but what impact is there? So by addressing the challenges, just to understand the issues that we as young entrepreneurs and the youth in the entrepreneurship sector go through. And then the second session, it's usually on, for the business experts. We've partnered with people from the Hindu Council of Kenya, which has a community of business institutions and businessmen, as well as experts from in the entrepreneurship sector. So, and also the Chamber of Commerce and others. So they come on board and address, it's like a mentorship session, though it's more specifically on addressing the issues that the youth have highlighted in the previous session. And now the third session, it's usually on funding. As young people, how can we get access to capital, whether it's seed capital or any capital that you need for your business, whether you want to expand your business. So different financial institutions and investors come on board and tell us what are some of the things we really need to do as young people to attract, to get access to finances. Even we realize that information is something that young people lack, whereby we as young people, we even don't know whether there is, maybe here in Kenya, there is some funds that is set aside by the government to promote youth enterprises or business. And then we have a session for legislators. So having listened to the entire thing, what are some of the policy that we can adapt as a country just to ensure a conducive environment for our enterprises as young people, or that can really help create an environment for our businesses to thrive? And now moving forward, it's because now we were still looking for investors and people who can really support youth businesses and ideas. It's something that we are introducing, a pitching session whereby 2 or 3 youth can pitch their ideas, and they can get either a mentor who will guide them on what they're supposed to do when it comes to just walking with them through the journey. And that is what we always say. It's about, am I able to walk with you as a young person till you are able to walk or to stand by yourself? So that is the first program. And the second program, it's usually about, it's called Impact Home. Impact Home, we said, and it's actually something, I always say that most of the things we face as young people are systemic. They cut across, whether you are in Africa, whether you are in Kenya, whether you are in Angola, whether you are in Nigeria, they cut across. So we realize that successful people, whether you are a successful entrepreneur, whether you are a successful career person or professional in your career, whether you are a successful young parliamentarian, what you do, in Nigeria, we call it the JAPA syndrome, or here in Kenya, the HEPA syndrome, whereby after being successful, of course, we went maybe to our capital cities, just or even outside the country to about that. I was talking about the JAPA syndrome, whereby most of us, we tend to forget where we've come from. And the moment we are in Nairobi, we don't think about our youngsters who come from the village. So the Impact Home, it's been intentional about intergenerational empowerment, whereby people from this certain society can really go back and empower their very own, not only to motivate, but only to democratize that access or linkage between, you see, the people, our youth in our communities. We call them the last mile youth, and these people, successful people, because those are the people who should be our mentors. And if we are able to speak the same language, then I think, if Lucy made it, for instance, of course I'm going to make it. If Lucy made it, then I can also make it. So that is the logic behind Impact Home. So that is all. And so I'll talk about something to do with how we can position ourselves as young people to attract opportunities, and also how to align ourselves as young people to attract those opportunities. And I think because of time, I'll just mention briefly, and then that will be all. And then I'll share my LinkedIn and other social media platforms where we can connect and further the engagement. So the first one, it's on, I think as we were starting, Esther asked a question on, she said that I've done a bachelor's in civil engineering and procurement and logistics. And I'm actually bringing the 2 degrees home. I've been a student for the longest time. And so it's time to pay it off. So I'm graduating in both of the degrees this year. How I managed to do that was, of course, it's not easy, considering that civil engineering, it's not a 1+1 course. And what I did, let me tell you my story. Because sometimes we find ourselves in different professionals because of situations. So after high school, I really wanted to pursue medicine, but the cluster points. So the only option that I really had, considering that I really loved physics, was engineering. So that is how I found myself in a class of engineering. And then through the same year, I also applied, that one is now the government sponsored course. And now I also applied for the procurement and logistics. See, most of my friends were doing something to do with accounting or a fancy course in terms of related to mathematics. And then I would be like, Lucy, after getting a very straight A in mathematics, why do you want your mathematics to just go like that? So I say, let me try it. let me try out something. And then back in high school, I remember our teacher used to tell us the most learned person in Kenya has 7 degrees. And then jokingly, I just set a goal and said I'll acquire so many degrees. But I said, to give it a specific number, I said I'll acquire 8 degrees. So I'm not sure whether I'll still do it, but yes, that is a goal that I set. I don't want to call it a dream, but it's a goal. So I still wanted to achieve these eight degrees thing. And so I said, why not? I cannot take accounting fully because I didn't do business in school and I will still have challenges. So I said, let me try procurement and logistics because it has bits of some theory and all that, so I won't struggle a lot. So that is how I ended up doing procurement and logistics. And now, being in public service while I was a first year, I realized there was a need for me to just gather that information so that when things are being discussed, because I was in the youth docket, so that when things are being discussed, I also have something to bring to the table. I am not, it feels good when things are being argued and you have you have something to bring to the table. When it comes to emerging issues, you can contribute. You see, we're not just filling those tables as young people, but we have something tangible and we have value to add to those people. So I went back to school. And not that I went back to school. I went looked for a college and did a diploma in international relations and diplomacy. So that one I did it out of pressure so that I have something just to argue. As a matter of fact, I always say I don't love it when people are contributing, especially when they are contributing very serious things and then I'm just there. So that is why I did the international relations and diplomacy diploma. And now I think onto my next one. I think I'll do something to do with energy and something to do with renewable energy or law. I love the way lawyers argue. So yes, maybe. I'm not even sure about it, but that has been it. And I think I've already mentioned something to do with how to position ourselves as young leaders to attract opportunities. Number one thing that I have said, it's about education and skill development. As young people, you see, I didn't want to do a diploma in international relations, but because I didn't want just to be there or taken as a statistic, I also wanted to, to contribute to that table, on that table. And as we table issues, I am also aware of what is going on and I have something, even if it's not like arguing or presenting myself as an expert, but at least I have even the basics. So as young people, I think it's time we also learn to acquire relevant skills that especially, I think we also have young professionals on this call. Something that is aligning to what we're doing. You see, I realized maybe myself, I don't have any background when it comes to entrepreneurship, but I've been constantly learning to just upgrade my information through different like Coursera and other platforms, even online. So at times, even if you don't have that capacity to pay for 2 degrees or even afford the education as a young person, I always say make internet your friend because it's very informative. And imagine someone told me that even your enemy cannot take away what you know. So I always believe that information is the greatest asset that you can have as a young person. So education and skill development, whether you're doing it in school, whether you're doing it online. And online, I think we have different platforms which offer different learning materials which we can utilize as young people. And then the aspect number 2, the importance of volunteering. Truth be told, I always tell people that I am where I am today because of volunteering. And I always make a joke whereby I think volunteering is something that we really need to talk about as young people, because people don't see its importance a lot, but it really opens doors when it, volunteering just opens amazing doors for you. I know we need money as young people. We need resources as early as yesterday. But again, if we have free time, let me ask you, maybe why can't I volunteer? Why? Because I always say, let's passion drive you as a young person. So if I have something that I can offer maybe to this organization or a firm, why can't I just go out there and volunteer? As long as it's not costing me my peace, it's not costing me my mental health and so many things, then I think I can just go. Imagine I got to the public service as a volunteer. When the ambassador wrote to me, because I was doing something before they spotted me. I was doing online mentorships whereby I would just, actually I was doing a sort of what Esther is doing. And then there was a guy called Maina Njue. So that he used to attend my sessions. So he's like, Lucy, I love what you're doing. You're so passionate about it. I link you to this ambassador. And imagine that was a total stranger. So as much as we as young people, we say that we don't have like access to opportunities. Sometimes, and by then someone told me, you see, it sounds like a cliche at some point, but just start. You never know who is watching. Just start. That idea, just start. You never know who is watching. For my case, Maina Njue was watching and he linked me to an ambassador. So I was really excited about it. I mean, getting to the public service. So I told the ambassador, I want to volunteer in the youth docket. So she actually gave me a chance, but of course, I think after 1.5 months, I started, of course, it was not like payment, but I used to get something. And as a young person, as a student, I mean, that is a huge achievement. And then the bit of networking, I got to, I always say, even the people maybe who have believed in me at some point, maybe it's people that I met when I was volunteering in the public service. And so that the other thing as a young person that you really have to be intentional about, it's about networking. You have to start looking for the right people, that is the right mentors, role models, even quality circle. And when it comes to friendships, because if we can join, and I will give you a very practical example. You see, for Isaac, I saw Sheila, Cindy on board as well, and others. Those are the family of the National Youth Caucus Kenya. And that is how we met. I mean, just trying to attract, and I always say it's something, it's there, the law of association, you attract who you are. So the moment you also build yourself in a way that I think this is what I am passionate about. They don't have to be successful people. No, they don't have to. Sometimes what people are looking for or what people can do, it's looking for someone that they share a vision, you see, and out of the vision that we share, because I have this for the young people, I have this for the young people, I have this, what is it that we can do? What is it that we can collaborate on? And how can we shape the vision to make it a long-term vision? How can we make it as big as possible? So because I always say National Youth Caucus Kenya is not me, it's not anyone else. National Youth Caucus Kenya, it's for the youth, because it's us who gave it a shape. So the bit of networking, you also need people to really guide you, because you see, sometimes you get fixed, even trying to give the vision a shape. Yes, you have it, but you even don't know what step to pursue as a young person. And those are now the people who will guide you. Sometimes you are overdoing things, or sometimes, you see, especially when you're being driven by passion, you feel like, why is it not working? No, it has to be this way. And it's allowed, you see. Overpassion is also allowed, but these are the people who will help you tame it. When you feel like, no, I think it has come to an end. I think, because burning out is really, 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 it's actually very real. You feel like you've got to the end. So those are the people that will now tell you, you know what, whether they are your colleagues, the right people that you have attracted in your circle, whether they are your mentors, they tell you, relax, this is not the end of the world. So the aspect of networking is very key, very, very, very key. And I always say, build yourself so that you attract what you are. If maybe I have something in me that I don't love, imagine that is the same thing that will attract other people. So the other one, it's about building your brand as a young person. And most people will tend to think that building a brand, it's all about having a very strong online presence. No. Building a brand, it's about, can I be consistent as Lucy in doing whatever thing I am passionate about? It doesn't have to be a big thing, but the moment I do it and do it and do it and do it over and over again, then it's going to be a great one. Because they always say that a journey of 1,000 miles, of course, starts with the first step. So as a young person, build your brand. If it doesn't work, because at times, we are young people, and at times we feel, no, go back and build it. I mean, I always say that as a young person, giving up is not an option. Of course, sometimes you also have to do what is not working. What can I also force? What can't I even force? What can I control? What is it that I cannot control? So those are some of the things that we really need to consider. And also, so that you also don't burden yourself as a young person as you try to see. Sometimes, especially when you are so attached to the results, it's always a challenge. So as a young person, you also need to build a brand whereby, if maybe I'm talking to, maybe if let me see one of the participants here. Maybe if it's Ashley Kalondu, for instance, I'm able to tell Ashley, as much as I may struggle maybe knowing what she does, I can see that she's passionate about maybe leadership and governance, you see. And that way you won't struggle when it comes to even attracting the people, your destiny helpers and destiny connectors. So we have to be so intentional, and the word is intentional, about building our brand. As young as we are, we may not have the experience, we may not have the expertise as young people, or as the youth, but steps by steps, the baby steps actually really counts. And then the other one, it's about being open-minded. See, if maybe I sat down and said, no, I think this is what I wanted to do, and you see, being open-minded actually helps you in a lot. For instance, maybe taking positive critiques. You don't feel bad about it because you are open-minded. You'll see, why is it that this person has thought of me in this manner? You see, maybe if even your colleagues tell you, I think, Lucy, there is a side of you that you've not. You actually don't know yourself. That is for sure. And the people around you help you a lot when it comes to knowing yourself better. So if maybe they come and spot maybe an untapped potential, and they are like, Lucy, do you know you can do well in maybe this sector? It's something that you didn't know that you're good at. But when you are open-minded, you will take those corrections positively. And that is how you are even able to maybe you are able to work closely with your peers, with your mentors, with your role models, because the moment they tell you, no, I think you shouldn't take this path because of 1, 2, 3 things, you are able to maybe change. That is also another whereby you have to adapt to changes so easily, and be ready to learn. That is something that actually one of the biggest secrets. And this is something maybe you will hear me talk about it, especially because they have HRs like Esther here, where Esther as an HR will ask for 10 years of expertise as a young person. Where am I going to check that experience and to get that experience and expertise from? But see, it's something that we've been advocating, that we can literally, as much as I could be an expertise, maybe as much as I could be a young professional in this field, when you give me an opportunity as a young person, I'm willing to learn. Yes, I am willing to learn. And that is one of the key secrets, because I believe 99% of the skills, 99% of the jobs and job descriptions can be learned. And when we learn it, we will execute them. So we have to be ready to adapt to changes. We have to be willing to learn, and continuous learning for that matter. Never stop reading books. Never, from time to time you'll see me reading books, and then people are like, how are they even helping you? I mean, you can just find me reading a book on leadership. It could be you could find me reading a book on motivation or something. And people will, why are you reading? Let me remind you, knowledge is the biggest asset that you can have, and no one can take it from you. Then I also want to talk to, I think in the interest of time, I let Dominic and Isaac say something, so that, yes, because I'm sure you have, this is something that we prepared together. Okay, I let Isaac maybe say something, because it's something that we prepared together and we work together. So Isaac, kindly.
Hello, good evening, Tim. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me? Oh,
yes,
okay.
we can.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd love to thank you, Esther, for organizing this very important activity, this forum, because it is through conversations that we get to drive the change that we want in our communities, in our societies, in our nations. And so this sets it up very nicely, because you are able to have a topical objective and build conversations around something that is clearly defined. That way, we can progress in an organized manner, and you are able to understand exactly what you are doing. So just to offer a brief contribution to whatever Lucy has covered in length and breadth, the role of youth in leadership is very, very, very vital. It cannot be overstated. It cannot be overemphasized. And here's the reason. I'll just give a simple explanation from my end why I think it's very vital. You know, we live in a constantly dynamic world. Our world changes over time. And the main reason for that is the efforts we make at development, right? Let's say our parents' generation, their efforts they made at development, whether it's through developing better workplaces, whether it's through creating investment and thereby creating more jobs. our world grows that way. But now, once we have initiated these efforts for development, the world changes. For instance, whoever brought up the internet thought that they just wanted to connect an internal network of a company to enable them to communicate easily, but looked at what it morphed into. It morphed into a global phenomenon that everyone is using. And now it has even, grown to the next level. We are talking of artificial intelligence, We are talking of converting documents online. We don't even need the hardware to do it. So because of that dynamism of life, it so happens that the youth now have a role to play, because those who initiated those developments may not stay around long enough to deal with the consequences of whatever they initiate. And that's why the youth should be actively involved in leadership, because they exist in the changed world that the earlier developments initiated. So they're able to understand, the exact specificities, the circumstances of what people are living in, and thereby they're able to suggest solutions. And like Lucy keeps on insisting, there's that need for intergenerational cooperation and dialogue, right? So because the youth understand the present conditions, they are able to work with the senior generation or older generation, and together they're able to come up with actionable solutions that are actually effective. So mine is just to call upon all youth. Sometimes this whole leadership thing, it is presented in a manner that seems exclusive. You might end up thinking that, it's exclusive and only reserved for certain people who maybe have certain talents or certain skills. And while there is, of course, there are people who have invested in acquiring the skills required to be effective leaders, a lot of us can develop that. And the role of leadership is it helps to try to drive the development, so that if you have ideas, you don't have to sit idly, you don't have to sit idly by and watch things happening. And some of those things you may not like, but it gives you the power to actually go ahead and contribute to the conversation, contribute to the efforts, so that whichever world we end up having is a reflection of other people and you, so that you don't have to feel excluded, you don't have to feel powerless, you don't have to feel very passive. So to fellow youth, would just love to encourage you to participate, even in small roles, and do not be afraid to learn. And I'll be blunt and say one thing. There's this internal phrase we use. Do not compete with people you should be learning from. This is not a matter of pride or ego, but it's because sometimes competing distracts you from the valuable lessons you could be gaining, right? You fail to focus on the lessons you should be picking up, and you focus on someone's personality or their peculiarities, and you get lost in the petty details. Just focus on learning. Learning is the greatest strength you can have as an aspiring youth leader. So just focus on picking up the lessons, read widely, network, and also when networking, to connect this to volunteerism. Don't always go with the mindset of gaining something. Gaining something in terms of maybe material benefits or, favors. No, go there with an objective. Go there to offer your skills, because that's how you demonstrate what you are capable of. I was just having, some contemplative time to myself the other day. And I was wondering, in today's world, especially the workplace, it's no longer enough to present a CV, because people have CVs, people have education, people have skills, people have more access to even self-development courses. So what really differentiates you right now, the modern employer, what will attract them? It's what you've demonstrated you can already do, not what you are saying you think you can do. And volunteerism gives you that opportunity. You are able to explore your strengths And it even reveals yourself to you, because you do not understand yourself until you have exposed yourself to a variety of situations. That way you understand your strengths, your abilities, your weaknesses, where you need to improve, and thereby don't be afraid to network, don't be afraid to volunteer. Always look for an opportunity to demonstrate what you are capable of. That way, by the time you are getting to an employer, you are coming on board as someone who is only now asking for the remuneration. That's the only difference. But if it's working, you've been working and you've demonstrated your skills widely. And it's also the easiest way. There isn't too much competition when it comes to volunteerism. And even if there's a lot of people, there's always room for more. So mine is to invite you, fellow youth, let's join hands, let's collaborate, let's learn, let's have objective unity, the type of unity that has an end in itself. Not just uniting for the sake of, a nebulous or vague idea. Let's come together knowing that I, Isaac, am connecting with Dominic or Lucy or Veronica or Esther to do a certain thing, whether it's learning or building something. And we'll be able to make faster steps, faster progress, and we will change our lives progressively. Thank you, Lucy, and thank you to all the youth who attended this forum. We appreciate you, and this is a sign that you're on the right track. You've not just wasted your time, you've not just wasted your time or just checked into another conversation and hear what they are saying. No, this is actually a demonstration of who you are. And I believe I'll be seeing these names that I'm seeing here. I'll see them somewhere, whether it's on LinkedIn or Twitter. I'm sure I'll come across them, and you'll be doing something meaningful. And trust you me, the NYCK team will be there to support you. You won't even believe. There's a certain gospel singer wa kitambo alikuwa anasema mlipewa bure, toeni bure. So if we are given opportunities, if you are given knowledge, if you are given skills, talents, we are here to share it freely, because, it doesn't belong to us. We are just custodians, and that way we'll grow together. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Hope to see you soon. Hope to engage with you, and let's grow together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Isaac. I know we have a lot to unpack. I mean, we just have a lot, as young people, when it comes to the real-time challenges. I feel we've gone through the journey, so we know. And that reminds me, I should tell you something. As young people, we will meet people who will say, like, no to us, whichever thing they feel like we're not doing. Let me shock you. I remember at some point, I had a meeting with a senator sometimes back. Then they are like, you see the space you guys are in, it's competitive. So I'm like, okay, you, even as you are going to buy in that position, you are like 10 people who are going to buy for the same position. So what makes you think, because maybe things didn't work out, maybe for other people, they will also not work out for us. Are we you, or are you us? So if you meet someone who is telling you, you know what, I tried this and it failed, ask them, yes, I don't have an issue with you. You tried, so, and you failed. So does it, how is it, actually, it was you. Are you me, or am I you? It's you who failed. If you say no to me, because most of the people, maybe out of 10 people that will approach, 7 or 8 will say no, a big no to what you have to say. So don't give up, just keep going. You never know. If I always say, and this is something, it's actually an in-house secret that we say, if they say no to us, we always say, they were not the right people to approach. They just don't know what they are missing out. So at times you also have to have that motivation as a young person, that you have to motivate yourself with, because if it's about giving up, some of us could have given up a long way ago. So If they say no, just try another person. Just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. There is always someone who is waiting to be of help to you. So, and then if you have a youth-led organization, please don't compete. Let us join forces. There is lots of work that has to be done. I mean, we cannot cover the whole or the entire economic empowerment thing. That is huge. I mean, entrepreneurship is so broad. So let us collaborate. Let us not, let us complement one another. Let us empower one another to meet our objectives. Let us small fights that we are doing, because I know they will really cost us. And I always say, imagine if the youth, we were united. No, let me just give you a very practical example. I'm not being a politician. I'm just telling you the reality of the things here. Trust you me, if we were united today, we would write an MOU to the government and tell them, you know what, out of these 22 PSs or 23 PSs, 7 will be young people, and they will listen to the voice of the young people. But if we keep being divided, if we don't collaborate, if we think like, because I am making it, you feel like the only way to get into that space is to try to eliminate Lucy or that other Lucy. You see, we won't go far and we will keep suffering. So we have a choice to make today. Where do we want to take our continent, Africa, into? Where do we want to place our motherland, Kenya, into? So I just want us as young people to be intentional about working together. We don't have to have the same objectives, imagine. I am for entrepreneurship. Someone else is for, leadership and governance. Someone else is doing an entirely different thing. How can we collaborate? How can we, how can I make you realize your dreams and your objectives as a young person without getting rid of you? So healthy competition is key, not the unhealthy one, whereby, imagine, for instance, if maybe Nora Magero got a 10 million grant, why am I not doing it? So let's join forces. I think that is something that Isaac has really emphasized on. Let us not fight our peers. Let us grow together. Let's get our voice back, because we have a voice as young people of Africa, but we really need to shape our voice now. So it is up to us. Thank you. I don't know whether we have 1 or 2 questions. And thank you so much. I love you all. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you, Lucy. I just love the energy the youth have. I allowed the conversation to flow. Youth are just amazing, and I see comments there. Patrick, I'll give you a minute. I see your hand is up, but Joy says, Isaac and Lucy, I'm so proud of you. You're bold and doing good work. If they don't support you, they are not your people. Keep pushing until you meet your people. Dominic, hi Dominic, nice to see you. Dominic says, CEO Lucy, power lady, Africa must be great. Wow. Dominic, you want to just say hi in 1 minute? We are way over time. We usually end at 8, but youth is youth, I can see. Yeah, in a minute, just say hi.
He actually he gave us a notice in the, yes, that he may not be able to talk.
Okay, cool. Okay, Dominic, thank you. Patrick, in a minute, maybe before we close.
Okay, thank you, Esther, for the opportunity. Thank you, Lucy, for the opportunity. I think this conversation can go on and on and on. So, Esther, I'm proud that you've given the youth this platform. And one thing that I want to mention to the youth that is a takeaway for me. If you want to get there, just take that risk and network. You will get there. Thank you very much. That's my takeaway home for the youth.
Wow. Patrick works with Chiromo. Chiromo are our very good partners. Lucy, I know you'll be meeting them and working closely with them. I was just with Patrick the other day in Mombasa. Asante sana, Patrick. That is a takeaway. Now, Lucy, as I conclude, I Actually, as you were talking, I said, this is our moment to listen as an older generation, and this is what we call reverse mentorship. I picked everything you said: education and relevant skills development, volunteering, mentors, building your brand, be intentional about it, be open-minded, adapt to change, continuous learning, read books towards your career goal. And Isaac, you said something amazing. Do not compete with people you should be learning from. I love that. Asanteni sana. Allow me to end this. Kennedy, thank you for staying in. I had seen Linda and I think she dropped off. I wanted to give her a minute, but that's okay. But asanteni sana. We will definitely be hosting the youth over and over again. Dominic says, hi, Esther, thanks for the platform. This is all we need. Platforms like this bring the most change. Thank you all. Thank you very much. God bless you. We are supporting you. You can be sure, as the National Youth Caucus, Conversations with Esther is right behind you. We are a call away. We are working with you to make sure that you, as we step off the stage, you take off and take over the stage. Asanteni sana. Thank you, Lucy. God bless you guys, and good night. Bye-bye.